If you ran for Ahmaud, then you need to stand for Bree, because Black women lives matter too. She was working with coronavirus patients in the emergency room. And while her mother was worried about her contracting the coronavirus, she kept telling her to make sure you're putting on your gloves, make sure you're putting on your protective mask, because she didn't want her daughter to get sick from corona and die, never imagining in a million years that her daughter would be killed by the police in her own home. Saw them coming in, he fired a single shot. And at that point, the police just unloaded. Just imagine, you're sleeping in your bed at night. Around 1 a.m., somebody busts through your front door. What would you do? He, as a registered gun owner, got his gun and went to defend his castle, his woman, and himself. Well, when you think about self-defense, you have to ask the question, in Breonna Taylor's case, does the Second Amendment apply to African Americans? And if you conclude it does, then you have to ask yourself the question, why is Kenny Walker, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, in jail charged with attempted murder? I'm also an attorney with the Ahmaud Arbery family. And if you ever wanted to see self-defense in black and white, you think about when they executed Ahmaud Arbery in broad daylight. His killer said self-defense, and they were not arrested. They were allowed to go home and sleep in their beds at night for over 10 weeks. Now you juxtapose that with the tragic killing of Breonna Taylor in her own apartment and what her boyfriend, Kenny Walker, was attempting to do. He was trying to defend them, but when he says self-defense as a black man defending his home, he was immediately arrested and placed in jail. Oftentimes people are asleep or people are doing something and somebody busts through the door and you don't know what's going on and you react, and it's very dangerous because the police officers have guns and they have them pointed, send a mask at you. And if you're an African American, you move a certain way, it's shoot first, ask questions later. Because the COVID-19 pandemic is going to be some impediments to the traditional ways that we fight for justice for the most vulnerable in our society. But I am resolute that both Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor will get justice because the people will demand it, and they will find new and innovative ways to have their voices heard, to make those who are in leadership accountable for the least of these, because Black lives matter and Black women lives matter too.
It's important to understand that whenever a person of color's life is lost at the hands of law enforcement, we have to recognize that there is a bigger historical picture here. We have to recognize the pain, the fears that Black Americans feel when a life is taken this way. 400 years ago, when the first ship of enslaved people came to America, that's when the unequal power dynamic between communities of color and law enforcement started. And that is still an issue in America today, and it impacts the way we see cases like this. I also want to recognize our police department and the incredible difficulty of policing in America. We all want safe communities. Everybody agrees on that. But how to create that with police and community legitimacies is the ongoing question. We ask our police to take on an almost impossible job, where we expect them to make split-second, life and death decisions, often in chaotic circumstances, and expect them to be perfect every time.
We have to give Black women the attention and the respect and the constitutional guarantees as any other citizen. Malcolm X said it best when he said, the most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. And he said the most neglected person in America is the Black woman. We have to demand justice and accountability. Those police officers who violated their own policies and procedures and violated their own protocol and recklessly and blindly shot into her apartment and executed her, riddled her body with bullets, should be arrested after they are terminated and charged for the killing of an innocent Black woman who had no criminal history, who was adored by all, and only wanted to try to help people in her chosen profession as a medical provider.